And in the last 90 seconds, we have seen more law enforcement roll in here with bicycles. I want to show you one quick interesting aspect of this. You can see on this gentleman's patch right here, this police officer is from Fort Worth, Texas. Right to his right, you have another gentleman right there from Akron, Ohio. This is the scene that we have seen played out since we arrived here in Cleveland, and it is going to be here until Friday when the convention wraps up completely and everyone heads out of town. Reporting live from downtown Cleveland, Mario Diaz, Pix 11 News. And it's a fair point to bring up because the streets here have been quite easy to navigate, and there has been plenty of law enforcement out on various city blocks patrolling throughout downtown Cleveland. Was there more activity on the streets? Without a doubt, there was today. But at the same time, you saw more law enforcement agencies having a stronger presence. Reporting from downtown Cleveland, Mario Diaz, Pix 11 News. When we showed up here originally, there was nothing going on at that moment. There was an all clear that was pretty much given by law enforcement. We kind of stepped away, but then they came back in, surged in just a few minutes later, and that's where you have, right over here, you have that wall of officers. You can see through there, there is some yellow tape. And again, that is the entrance right there to go into the arena here for the convention. What I can tell you is that there was an ignition of some item. They're not confirming whether or not there was an American flag involved. I did see a police officer that did have a full flag that was attached to his shoulder that was right there, and he was by one of the individuals that they were loading into the paddy wagon. However, they would not confirm if there was a flag. They would only confirm that there was an ignition of flame on the streets here in Cleveland. Now, how is this not against the First Amendment? It's very simple. Here in Cleveland, there's an ordinance, and it states very clearly you cannot have a fire in public on city streets. And that is obviously one of the areas here that they're going to be looking into in this investigation. There appears that there will be more charges. The Cleveland Police Department is the lead agency in charge. They are going to have a news conference later on detailing exactly those charges, how many people were arrested, and what exactly took place right back there. We'll have more on this for you throughout the course of the evening on Pix 11 as well as Pix11.com. Tamsin, back to you. Day 3 here in Cleveland, without a doubt, has had its moments, unlike the initial 48 hours that have played out here in Ohio. Extremely tense moments at the doorstep of the Republican National Convention as demonstrators lit an American flag on fire just yards away from the convention's entrance. The sudden intensity that materialized on the streets this afternoon could be felt throughout the day.
Maybe if you would graduate from high school.
Yeah, well, the activity's definitely picking up, without a doubt.
There is no question that Cleveland had a different kind of face to it today. Sure, there were Little Miss Americas, selfie moments, and even cops giving hugs, but the soundtrack of the streets was much more demonstrative, as it was vocal.
There is no debate. Trump equals hate.
Mi Gente is a recently formed Latino organization that has been critical of Donald Trump. The group, based out of Chicago, marched through the streets of Cleveland, creating a wall at one point in front of the convention.
We are community.
But as they walked through the streets, so did Sean Whitty, a former Marine and Trump supporter. I first met Whitty 48 hours ago in the midst of another anti-Trump protest. 2 days later, he says the expectations of demonstrations going into Cleveland have been different from reality.
It's been very peaceful. I expected, Black Lives Matter and groups like that, anti-Trump groups, to be very hostile towards me, when that hasn't been the case at all.
He is not alone. It is a sentiment expressed by law enforcement as well.
We're very happy. We think this is the way it works.
Ed Tomba is a deputy chief with Homeland Security for the convention. While there has been a void of unrest the first 2 days, Tomba is quick to point out,
The week is far from over.
in fact, just minutes after our interview, bike cops rolled in and a perimeter was established.
We are for procreation.
Overall, this was a day where you could tell people on both sides of the aisle
I would consider myself extreme left.
were thrusted into moments of uncertainty. Watch what happens with this demonstrator, Stefan, in the midst of our interview.
So I want to avoid that as much as possible.
Stop, man. What do you have that on for? What's up with that?
Don't touch me.
But when news broke there were plans for flag burning, Whitty, a former Marine out of Los Angeles, made it clear before the incident it was something he was not going to tolerate.
I love this flag. Let me catch him. you with my flag, and I will wreck their world.
This was a day filled with challenges. It was one that some, like Leslie Tassin, were warned about. The Louisiana delegate out of Baton Rouge knew that what had happened in his hometown in recent weeks may have an impact on what happens in Cleveland this week. But as he told me just off the convention floor this evening, it was not going to stop him.
I was sort of concerned, but I wasn't afraid to come. I came.
And what has it been like for you now, 3 days in?
Great, peaceful. We've had a great, this convention is my 5th one. It's been as good, as peaceful and quiet as anyone. I mean, 76, we raised hell all 4 nights on the floor when Reagan and Ford ran. That was a rough convention.
Now, it should be noted that the city of Cleveland purchased a $50 million insurance policy a few months ago in anticipation of this week. Thus far, here in Cleveland, on night number 3, it appears as if the mayor will have no need to contact the city's adjuster. Reporting from downtown Cleveland, Mario Diaz, Pix 11 News.